If you need to talk, I'm available. Although that's a well-intentioned text message, it can be a little unnerving when you're not expecting to get it, especially when it's the end of summer vacation, it's the middle of the afternoon, and that text is coming from your trumpet teacher at school. Now, we have a group text like between our studio and our teacher, so it wasn't that weird, but I just checked to see who the message was sent to confirm that like I had not like seriously messed up, forgotten to be somewhere, I don't know. And I looked, and I wasn't surprised to see the names of the other trumpet players at school until I realized that Alex Green's name was missing. Now, let me back up, and for those of you who don't know Alex, let me tell you a little bit about him. So, picture with me a guy who's like, I don't know, 5'6" on a really good day, like really, really skinny. Think like bird arms and legs that are made to look only smaller because of this like huge, hyper-masculine, like thick, bushy brown beard. Okay, Alex always like dressed really nicely, which was weird because he was a total goof all the time. Like until he talked, you could take him seriously, and then as soon as he opened his mouth, which was all the time, like it was over. Alex was the guy who swore in front of the children at the library concert. He was the guy who not only flirted with the cute actress at the coffee shop, but secured a first, second, and third date with this girl. He had a lot, like we all have lockers at school on the second floor, like middle of the school, okay, where everyone is in and out all the time. And he kept a couple changes of clothes in his locker, like his concert clothes, whatever he felt like wearing that day, I don't know. And he would just change in the hallway. Like at any given moment, it could be 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and you'd walk by and there would be Alex in his boxers, like, yo, Tessa, what's up? Like absolutely no regard for what was appropriate and what wasn't, ever. Alex was my drinking buddy. He was my relationship therapist, which says a lot about how often I make bad choices. And he was the life of every single party. He could have a serious side, though, when he needed to. I remember one night in particular, this is embarrassing, but we were at McGlinchey's, sorry. And I had a particularly awful day on the trumpet. Like, okay, I consider myself a realist, but I think a lot of my friends might put me in the pessimist category. I don't know what had happened. It was probably some combination of I had a bad lesson, I had an audition coming up, like, I don't know, I didn't have a good warm-up that day, and I had just decided that I was the worst trumpet player on the face of the planet. I should just quit. Why am I here? What am I doing with my life? You know, spiraling out of control. For probably 20 minutes past Alex's point of patience, because he finally got this really uncharacteristically serious look on his face. And it scared me a little bit, because I don't think I had ever seen this look in his eyes before. And he stares at me for 30 seconds, and then finally he comes out with, Tessa, you need to commit to yourself. I was like, what are you talking about? He says, Tessa, like, it's really obvious to everybody else in your life that you're gonna be a trumpet player. Like, look at all the decisions you've made in your life, look at where you are now, like, you're gonna do this. Why is it a question for you and nobody else? So stop it, commit to yourself. Commit to the fact that you are going to make it, and then don't leave yourself any other options. Now, coming from Alex, that meant a lot, because he certainly had that kind of commitment in his own life, which I personally think is best summed up in the story when he, maybe a little bit inebriated, spontaneously went to Moo Tattoo and walked out with a bow tie on his bicep. Now, we gave Alex so much shit, because not only was it a bow tie tattoo, it was his first and only tattoo, and it was a bad tattoo. Badly, badly done, as you would expect from, like, Moo Tattoo midnight on a Tuesday. But when Alex begrudgingly shared the story of why he got the tattoo, we had to cut him a little bit of slack, because his explanation was, I'm going to be a principal trumpet player in a major orchestra someday. A tuxedo is going to be my job uniform. And just in case I ever forget a bow tie, which is something he did all the time, I'll always have a spare. So I think it's become pretty clear by now that even though Alex and I only knew each other for a year, he was a very, very dear friend of mine. And that's why, when I got this text from my teacher and noticed that Alex's name was missing, I immediately just felt in my bones that something was really, really terribly wrong. I can feel it right now, thinking about it. I can feel my stomach climbing into my throat, and you know that just sinking cloud that takes over you when you know that you're about to find out something you really, really don't want to? And sure enough, seconds later, my phone rings. And it's a friend from school calling to tell me that she had just found out that the day before, Alex had died. Alex and his best friend, Ben, were on their way back from the Aspen Summer Music Festival, where they'd played in a brass quintet together all summer. We'll never know exactly what happened, but Alex had only gotten about an hour of sleep the night before, so the best guess is that he fell asleep at the wheel. Their car drifted into the other lane. There was an oncoming truck that couldn't swerve out of the way in time, and Alex and Ben were both killed immediately. Now, Alex had a ton of impact on all of us during his life, and while we were robbed of all the impact he would have continued to make on us, I think I can speak for everyone who knew Alex when I say that in learning to cope with losing him, we've all found different ways of keeping him with us. Actually, at his memorial service, his dad asked us to think of the best parts of Alex, the things about him that impacted us the most deeply, and find ways to carry those with us throughout our lives. And that is how I ended up with my own bow tie tattoo on my bicep. Now, I'm not blessed with the same single-minded clarity of purpose that Alex was. Maybe, hopefully, I'll find myself playing principal trumpet in a major orchestra somewhere someday. Maybe I'm gonna find some other musical path that makes more sense for me. But I can tell you that I am committed to figuring it out, and I am going to make it, and I am not going to leave myself any other options. So with that said, I would like to play for you the second movement of the Burma Trumpet Concerto, which was Alex's favorite thing to play.